In other news, 4 days of voting in the European Parliament election kicked off in the Netherlands on Thursday. Dutch nationalist Geert Wilders has cast his ballot. Wilders looked set for new electoral games as a nationwide opinion poll shows that his party is in a tie for first place along with Labour and Green Left combination, with both projected to get 8 seats. The election, to be held across all 27 EU member states from 6th to the 9th of June, will have an impact across the European Union and beyond. Polling in the Netherlands will be followed by Ireland and Malta on Friday and Latvia and Slovakia on Saturday. The remaining EU member states will vote on Sunday. Results are expected by Sunday evening local time. Now, 370 million people in all 27 EU member states are eligible to vote. Voters will be selecting 720 members of the European Parliament. Seats are allocated according to each country's population. And Alex Cadier sent us this report from Brussels.
Well, certainly these elections are the second biggest democratic exercise, of course, after the Indian elections, those 27 countries going to the polls. And what will happen is that the voters will make national decisions, voting for parties in their countries. But then the big question is, how do those individual parties work together once they get to the European Parliament? They will form these parliamentary groups together in the European Parliament. So the question will be, how will the right-wing parties from the Netherlands, from Italy, from France, from Germany, Spain work together in that Parliament? Ditto for the Greens and the left-wing parties. How will they be able to form coalitions to then be able either to govern or block or have influence in that European Parliament? So you will see those results coming on Sunday evening. All of these countries going on separate days because, as I mentioned, and as you rightly mentioned, 370 million voters across 4 days and across the European Union. The thing to look out for is exactly how much, what the breakdown will be of who gets what proportion of MEPs in the European Parliament, because that will decide who gets the top jobs. Ursula von der Leyen, the President of the European Commission, that building behind me, she's just had a phone call with Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulating him on his election victory. She will be looking very closely at the European elections because the MEPs will decide who is the next President of the European Commission, and crucially that will be a big question for Ursula von der Leyen. The other thing to expect is to see which political direction the continent goes in. The last time we had European elections was back in 2019, before the COVID pandemic, before the invasion of Ukraine, before inflation, before the migration crisis in Europe. It's all to play for in the coming days in Europe.